Welcome back to the channel, everyone. RonMan here as always, and today I'm taking a look at the Flintstones, the rescue of Dino and Hoppy for the NES. Also, if you're new here and you like my content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as well as that bell notification so you stay up to date with RonMan Gaming. The Flintstones, the rescue of Dino and Hoppy, was developed and published by Taito and released for the NES in 1991. Out of the two Flintstones titles for the NES, this is the one that's not laughably expensive. The story here is that a guy from the 30th century named Dr. Butler has realized that he wants some dinosaurs for a zoo. He decides to go back in time to the Flintstones' age to steal some. Well, he just so happens to steal Fred's pet Dino and Barney's pet Hoppy. Fred's alien friend Gazoo can help, but only after Fred helps him rebuild his time machine that Dr. Butler decided to destroy. What a nice guy. Once the time machine is complete, Gazoo sends Fred to the 30th century to rescue both Dino and Hoppy. The rescue of Dino and Hoppy is an action platformer where you take control of Fred as you make your way through 8 levels. After you've beaten the first level, you're taken to a world map screen, and here you have limited range to choose which levels you play next. As Fred, your main attack is with a club. If you press and hold B, you'll begin charging for a stronger attack. Being that this is a platformer, you'll be doing plenty of that, but what's unique here is that you'll also be clinging onto ledges while you're platforming. This mechanic takes a bit of getting used to, but it doesn't take long, and thankfully it works great. Throughout the stages, you'll come across many different items. There are items which give extra lives, replenish health, increase your number of heart containers, and increase your club charge strength. On top of that, there are 3 different sub-weapons you can find, such as the slingshot, the axe, and the bomb. By the way, the bomb heavily resembles a Yoshi egg. Using the sub-weapons will cost you coins. It's similar to the hearts in Castlevania. Thankfully, you'll come across many coins during your playthrough. The overall design here is fantastic, and in my opinion, it's because of the following reasons. Number 1, all of the levels are fundamentally consistent. You learn quickly how to play and what this game expects of you. Number 2, in terms of visuals, this game has variety. No 2 levels look the same. We have levels that you would expect, like Bedrock and the jungle, but we also have an ice village, a castle, an oriental village, and a future which contains a cameo of George Jetson. Now that's pretty cool. Number 3, the difficulty is reasonable. It's not too easy, but it's not too hard either. However, there are times where this game can be pretty tough. I got stuck on the final stage for quite a while.
For 45 minutes, I was out there screaming. I know that because my damn watch is broken.
However, this game does offer unlimited continues. Now, to be clear, just because I do think this game is well designed, doesn't mean that it's perfect. I do have a few nitpicks, but we'll get to those in a little bit. The developers packed in even more variety with optional basketball stages. In total, there are 3. In these levels, you just need to score more points than Harry. If you win these stages, you'll gain a permanent ability which you can use as long as you have the coins to pay for it. These abilities include being able to fly, a super jump, and flippers for better swim controls. If you pause the game, you'll see which abilities you have available. I think the fly ability is the most useful, as it can often give you just enough push to make tough jumps without having to spend coins. Every time you flap your wings, it costs money, but when you summon the wings, it gives you a free bump. This is great, and if you're struggling with this game, don't be shy about using your abilities. The dive ability functions exactly the same as fly, except dive only works in the water stage. Like I said, the basketball stages are optional, which means so too are these abilities. If you're up for a greater challenge, opt not to get them. Now, I mentioned that I do have a few nitpicks. Keep in mind that these do not ruin the overall experience, but of course, this game is not perfect. My first nitpick is that I dislike that this game removes a heart container every time you die. Collecting a cactus cooler will add an extra heart container to your overall health meter, but every time you die, the game removes a heart container. Why? If you're struggling, what sense does it make for the game to get harder? That's like how banks charge you money for having insufficient funds. So you're gonna charge me money for not having enough money? Is this game too hard? Well, then we'll take away a heart container and make it even harder. That should help, right? Now, because this game does offer frequent cactus coolers, this design choice is mostly a problem when it comes to boss fights. If you die, you restart at the boss, but with less health and no sub-weapons. My second nitpick is that some of the enemy placements are questionable. There are times, although thankfully very few, where an enemy flies in from off-screen just to hit you off a ledge. Sometimes the enemy placements, combined with some platforming hazards, can really make things tricky. I think the worst stage for knockback is the lake. I died here quite a few times just because of unexpected enemy spawns and knockback. My final nitpick is that you can't change directions on a dime. If you're walking but suddenly have to change directions, you have to wait for Fred to stop sliding. It's honestly not that noticeable, but the best example are these skeletons. After you walk past them, they chase you, but turning around to hit them with your club is slightly more challenging than you'd expect. Again, none of these ruin the overall experience, but I do have to mention them. In terms of graphics, The Flintstones is a great-looking NES game with vibrant colors, and the characters do resemble how they look in the show, despite this being an 8-bit NES game. Also, the music is memorable and very well done. So there you have it. The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy is a fantastic NES game. It's not dirt cheap by any means, but it's also far from unreasonable, at least at the time of recording this video. A loose copy goes for about $40 Canadian, or $30 American. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, another good Flintstones game. It just makes me even more angry at Ocean for just coming up with such an awful game. Have you guys played this? Do you like it? Have you played the expensive one? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.